This is Justin for Friday, October 21st, 2022, looking at SPX. So I've got Friday set up about 10:30 in the morning, 10:27, no, 10:30 candle. And so I just want to kind of recap where I had left off with the previous video. So I had noticed that there was some of these kind of triple topping things. And so you can look at Friday and be like, oh, okay, well, here's top, and then it comes way down and here. And then we should get one like this and roll back down. But instead, we take out this high. So here at this point, you know something different is happening from making these lower highs, you know, three lower highs and then lower. Something different has happened. The other thing, so, put that in your mind. The other thing that I noted was I kind of drew this in freehand. I went back after the video and drew this a little bit more of, like, okay, what if this becomes this channel that we're in? And then so far, it was working into Friday. Didn't quite touch the top here, but we didn't, on this day either. So that's fine. But we were really nicely holding within this kind of downtrending channel, set by this, and then we had some lows come in here and here, and then kind of tagged it there. And then sure enough, we bounced off of that low to open things up. Actually, the open flashed down pretty quickly here. And so now I'm going to zoom in. Actually, let me just kind of finish with this. So at this point, that high is getting taken out. Something different is happening. You could have bought right out the gate, let it run up, and then you're holding through, and you should be looking for a target here. But this candle tells you something different is happening, and because it should have rolled down. It should have come back down like this one this day. It came back down and tagged down here. It never really made it up to this level. And so that's okay that this one didn't. So you'd be looking for it to come back down here and then get a bounce. None of that happened. All right. So we're at the point. So that's kind of the framework that I'm looking at Friday morning, seeing, okay, it's doing something different. And so let me now zoom back in to just how things opened up on Friday. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward because we had a bigger move Friday up. So let me get this zoom back into just Friday now that we have the framework set for the day. And so the first thing here we can see, and I just want to talk through kind of the 10 EMA strategy. So we had, this bull candle closed below the 10, this bull candle closed below the 10. Technically, this lower wick here triggered below that candle if somebody was looking to go bearish right there. Could have been trapped, immediately wrong, immediately bounced. You've got the green line here that it bounced off of. You got this kind of red line, down trend line that, I just drew in, but I had kind of drawn something freehand on Thursday's video. And so it's possible that you could have been looking for that. If you think about what this looks like, depending on how you draw this, it could be some kind of consolidation with some higher lows. It could be, if you go down to a 1 minute, it could be something like this that then goes higher. So that's really a confusing pattern because you'd think it'd be like a double top, and then it's like, well, maybe it's a double bottom, and it's basically just chop, and then it breaks out bullish, but you want to wait for that breakout. So this is not a breakout going down until it really gets below that level, below like the green line down here, or like a close below all this. Neither of those things happened. We did get a really nice close above all of that. That was supposed to be a straight line. Really, the fib line there is where we closed above. That high there was a really nice level. And then we started putting in some bear candle closes above the 10. And all these would have worked to go a little bit higher. This one did not, but it also didn't trigger bullish. Each of the other ones did. Then we swung way back down. And if you picture this as a bigger S curve, there's the framework for the day. Right back into the fibs, kind of bouncing around in like a double bottom. Different ways to draw this. Definitely a double bottom is the one that kind of jumps out to me. You could draw this as kind of like an inverted head and shoulders. But this is the candle that I had, the 1030 candle, right? That was the 1030 candle right there. Yeah. So this is the candle that's breaking out above the previous pivot. And I would kind of, from what I had drawn on the previous video like this, looking for that to happen. When it doesn't happen, then yeah, you've got a double bottom here that then breaks out and continues higher. It did continue higher right into this downtrend red line. That I had freehanded on Thursday's video, but this is where you get some consolidation here. A little bit of, you got this first candle breaking out above that high. So that's great. Once it does that, bulls should be taking some profits. They do. You've got a little bit of one of these kind of falling three patterns kind of bookended. This bookend didn't get quite high enough. We'll come back to that pattern on the daily. Actually, let me jump over to the daily real quick. Let me turn this off. We're just gonna get rid of this for a sec. So here's the other thing that is kind of interesting. This looks like 1, 2, 3, and then a bookend. We just don't have a left bookend. Nothing like that to be like, okay, there's a falling three, which is relatively bullish pattern because you've got a bull move and then a rest and a bull move. Well, if you kind of squint, you can say, well, there's a bull candle there, but it's not really bookending. It'd be, like that to say, okay, something's happening there. So it doesn't quite fit it doesn't fit at all the specific exact pattern, but it's just interesting to see that we have something. Okay, I'm trying to fit. We have something that looks like that, the right side of it just doesn't have a left bookend. So there's that pattern. And so getting back into just the 10 EMA focus that I wanted to have on this video. This was a really nice candle, like closing right on the 10. It didn't really trigger above, but then this candle closes below, so that discounts it. And then this candle right here, that the next candle, the 1030 candle, triggers that. And then you have a mini little S curve here. This was a great entry, and then getting your stop down in here. So this was, let's see, you could take the breakout above this candle at 1027. You can get in on a retest here, 1036, 1039. So what I've got lined up on the call, the next screen for the load, here we go. This is the 3750. So we're going to look at that 1027 candle. That would have been just buying an absolute zero. You could have just done this with buying for $1 or wait for that to break out, come back in and get a nice little pullback. And it's not quite 0.5, but easily can get filled for $1 or a little bit less. And then that had a run up to 5, which was the previous high. Other options worked to have a bigger movement. So like the 3725, that one moved pretty nicely. Oops. That back down. Okay, we're looking at the 1027 candle. So the high here was 380. So a nice round number would be getting a breakout at 4, but it'll probably pull back. This is what these normally do in the options. So 4 by 3 would have been stopped out on this candle. So this is one where it's like, okay, could I get filled at maybe 350, maybe 3, like set that up, and 350 could have worked. I think he maybe would not have been stopped out, but this is one where, with the range of this option and these previous lows here being in the lower 2, or let's see, yeah, just below 2, it's like, okay, if I can get my stop down at 2, or a little bit less, that'd be even better. So buying 3 by 2 as it's moving up, but I do like that you have a bear candle close above the 10 on the option as well. And then you could get a fill over here for that to move up. And same thing, if you could get a fill at 3, it moved on up to the previous high, target of 13, 14. Probably if you're getting in at 3, target 13, that's 10R. Really nice move in like about a half an hour. Yeah, I'll take that any day. So that was one of the first opportunities going bullish. And then you had some other ones, even up here. This candle at 1051 broke out on the 1057. That would have been much more expensive over in here. Harder to get the $100 risk, but still possible to set something up to let's see, to buy at above the high. So buying at 8 and the stop at 7, that would not have worked. This is one where you'd have to do the setup, a little bit later, looking or a little bit lower, looking for a fill in the middle of like this candle, maybe 650. Uh, and that actually would have worked. 650 by 550 would have worked. I would have gone to a different option. So go back to like the 3750 call or something else in between. I just want to kind of go over this one to see. Okay, at 1057. So this would have been probably getting a setup buying at 2. Yeah, just it's right there. Buy at 2, stop down at 1. That would have worked. Um, it would have worked over here. You would have been able to ride that up to 4. That worked a bunch of times. So you could have bought at 2, sell at 4, bought at 2, sell at 4, bought at 2, sell at 4. That would have worked a bunch of that would have worked first thing right out the gate too. So that's a nice move. You had more bear candles closing above the 10, but then like each of these negated it. You had this move up, and then nothing really broke out above this one. You're running into the top of this range. You really got to wait till probably this candle will be the next closest, and that's at 1036. That had another move up into the fibs, came back down, and then this this was a really nice rally here. Just did not give a bear close above the 10. Didn't give that trap signal, and that just ran into this fib again, and it just hung out here for the last half hour of the day, barely moved. But it made its move. The bulls were on fire today, moving things out, moving things up. But it's kind of to be expected after 3 bear days, going mostly sideways, but more of a rest. Maybe we're due for a breakout. So that's what ended up happening. The bear moves were harder to capture today because they didn't really signal. So like here's a bull candle closing below 10, triggered on the next candle, and then you probably were stopped out here and then didn't get a signal here. So you really didn't get anything saying take it bearish. And like I said, with the 3 previous days being selling days with that kind of triple top signal, you don't get that same signal. It's not really triple top, but it looks kind of like a slanted triple top. Excuse me. It didn't really get that signal today. And so just staying bullish all day. I did like a couple times you had the RSI get to the point that it was oversold. And so, that was when we had some buying come in. This one was a little nicer for a rest. And then this one was after, a bigger move and then a little bit longer of a rest, but would have been great had it come down a little bit further through here. But each time it did, each time we rested, we put in this kind of nice, slightly lower highs like this. Even through here, you could see something like that. So when you have some more of these just slightly selling angles, look for a breakout of that. And I mean, this is not the 10 EMA strategy, but like right here, maybe. And then you didn't get it again here. But it's similar, this one's bigger, but same kind of thing. Like you had, um, this kind of pullback angle. This one's a little bit more extreme. That's more the S curve. The other ones, they're smaller S curves, but they're more of kind of like triangle patterns than the first one is from the earlier in the day. But yeah, that's how I saw things, how they moved on Friday. I'm not so bullish that I think we're going to just run and rally, but looking for a place that shorts are going to come back in, bears are going to come back in because they've been holding this down. We did close this gap. We closed this range. We've traded through it a couple days here. So I'm pretty sure this range is pretty much done. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to back out the date to the 21st because that's really, last time we were holding that, we traded right on through it. So I'm going to pull that back to the Friday's candle and we'll just kind of leave it like that and see, okay, is that going to come into play? Is this going to be significant? Because it really didn't play out as a level that we interacted with as much. Like we did interact with it. Tell you what I'll do. I'll move it back into during the day today. So let me put it in at 3 o'clock at the close today. Friday. And we'll keep it there and see if that's any sort of relevance. But because we've traded through it, you know, all this week we were trading through that. It stopped acting as a clear resistance or support, you know. Um, you traded through it a little bit here. We were right back below it, then we gapped over it. This was pretty significant that this could be a, it was an island reversal, but it didn't really hold as that over here. I thought we could get another island reversal through here, going back bullish. I thought, okay, we'll have like competing island reversals. Well, all of these 4 days just totally indicated that. Um, I'm just trying to figure out like what exactly are we seeing with this kind of movement. I'm not so good with the macro picture, but you could consider this being like a 1, a 2, a 3. This is a pretty big move up, so that's like a 1, a 2, a 3, and then like a 4, and then maybe this different. That's your 1, 2, 3. 4 would be like that, just because it's more choppy. And then your 5 could end anywhere up here, but it can't be bigger. The 3 can't be the smallest. And I think 1 so far was bigger than 3. So the 5 would have to be maybe only up a little bit more so that it's smaller than here to here. If this is, you know, the Dow theory and how this is going to move. But this is definitely just choppiness and more of, I was saying this could look like a triangle at some point. It's just really choppy. If we do get that breakout above that pivot, then it should continue up a little bit more. But I mean, if this is the fib count, or not the fib count, if this is the Dow theory, the wave count, um, we need to have a measured move smaller than this. And so this is what, 37.50, 36, no, 37, 37.60, and then 35.80. So we just can't go above that amount if we keep on going up. So that would be, let me draw this again, here to there. There we go. So we need to stay, oh yeah, that's off the chart. So we need to stay above, below, with this next move up, we probably need to stay below 38.10. I'm approximating 38.10. We would need to stay below that and have kind of a bigger move back down for that count to be correct. But I don't know. I don't know if that's the correct count at all. But I'm just kind of seeing like, hey, we've got a big rally today. Could we continue a little bit more? Probably. What's up there? Here. So here's some more of the fibs that I've got on. And then we've got those green lines going back to way back over here before we had some Fed announcements. So yeah, these are some of those bigger days through there. So that's ahead of us, and then the 200. So or the 100 here, and then, you know, if we were to keep moving that much further up, but this is, zoom out. This is looking like, and I know it's harder to see through throw the lines down here, but this is looking like a bigger kind of double bottom. So it's a question of, do we get up to this point and turn this into like a neckline, and are people going to be looking for that? Or could this be the next place that we're going to run into some more resistance because we've had resistance there before, and then we'll roll down again? And then how far could we roll down? Any of that is possible. The count that I just did like this says the same thing. Like, we're going to run into some resistance here. We should, maybe the 38.10, 3800 price, and then do some bigger pullback, or at least just rest or channel. So be careful of being chopped out if we do start to channel. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could happen here. We've got bulls wanting to push it higher. We got bears. You know, are they going to come in and push things lower? We got all kinds of things happening, world market. So be cautious and click the link in the description if you want to trade along with some folks who do this every day and can really help to hone in what we're talking about, what we're doing, and still look for ways to day trade or ways to have an idea of what's happening in the market. And if you are hearing from someone saying they know what's going to happen, they don't. And so even what I'm saying is a guess when this is, hindsight. This is trying to figure out, okay, could this happen? Could there be signals? If I draw something on here, is it going to work? Maybe today it works. Maybe tomorrow it doesn't. It's everything works, just not all the time. So we just have to keep thinking through this stuff and take the right setup. So there were definitely 10 EMA setups that worked out great. Even if you had taken like this one, 3750 strike and played that multiple times. The 3725, this is what blows my mind with this stuff. The 3725, you could have taken that setup, so buying at like 3, and if you had just held it all day, like if you somehow knew, just get in that option, hold it all day, it's going to work out. If you knew that somehow, which I don't know how you know that. If you do, let me know, please. But it 10x'd. It went from 3 to 30. The option itself 10x'd. Like, that's incredible. That's the possibility of this stuff. The stock's not going to do that. SPX itself is not going to do that. Those kinds of things. Those kinds of things, if there's a way to find out that's going to happen. The thing that I notice is the move can always be bigger than I realize. And so having 3 bear days in a row, it makes sense. We almost made a bear engulfing candle. It was kind of a bear engulfing yesterday on Thursday. It made a higher high and a lower low. And then Friday making a real, like, this is really a bullish engulfing candle. Made a lower low and a higher high, and it's a bull candle engulfing a bear candle. That looks pretty strong. That looks pretty bullish. It's similar to this. This was just, a huge gap down, and this engulfed a lot. But I think it's significant that this is a bullish engulfing candle, and that's kind of the biggest argument that, okay, bulls came in, they trapped bears. Bears are trapped in the last 2 days. Are we going to trap some more? How much further could we go and trap them? And if bears start to feel that they are, they're stuck, they're going to exit. They're going to buy to exit, buy to close their positions. So, all right, this is Justin. Hope that helps. Thanks.